Good morning. Hey, everyone. Uh, Friday, March 21st. I can't believe that it's March 21st. Gosh, things just keep ramping up. So hopefully, we the people can continue to ramp up our own nonviolent dissent. That's going to be the theme of this video. This is part two. Hopefully, you were able to catch the first one where we came up with a couple of fun ideas that you can dissent via email. Now is the time to gum up the works, right? Really just make them feel it. At the end of the video, I'll provide a few different resources because I realized I didn't do a good job of that last time. So, without further ado, today we're going to talk about a few, I think I've got something like 15 or so different ways that you can protest nonviolently, peacefully, and show the administration what the heck you think of them. Let's get down to business. So we've got some fun ideas to help you stick it to the man. Numero uno. I don't know which side I should do the one on. We're going to do the left hand. Numero uno. The slow clap protest. So this is an OG. I don't know if anyone has seen Not Another Teen Movie, one of my favorites from back in the day. There's literally a character who keeps trying to start a slow clap but can't seem to find the right moment. Now is your time to be that character intentionally. And you could coordinate with other people. So let's say, I don't know, you're at a town hall with the GOP. You could just, in the middle of them talking, give them a nice, slow, sarcastic clap. And just keep it going. The longer and more obnoxious you can get with that, I think the better. So we're going to start low key, right? Pretty easy to just do an inappropriate slow clap. Big fan. But we're going to keep escalating, keep giving you fresh ideas. If you've got any of your own that you don't hear or would like to add in, feel free. But we're going to keep cruising. So, number two, the literal protest. You're going to see a lot of signs at protests, right? When you're showing that dissent. So I'm talking about using protest signs that are taking everything literally. So if you're against bad policy, hold up a sign that says, I'm just here for the free Wi-Fi. Or this sign is doing more work than Congress. Right? There's a huge pay gap, wealth disparity in America that's driving everyone nuts and has created this insane strife. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to get stuck on that. But if you want to protest the unfair pay, your sign could say, we'll work for exposure. Little Instagram influencer type of thing. Bad management. How about replace leadership with AI? It couldn't be worse. I mean, I don't think it could be worse. Shout outs to you magnificent Canadians. Keep sticking it to America. Like, keep giving us the business. Don't buy any Kentucky bourbon. And that's tip of the iceberg, right? Boycott every American product you got. Canadians are like the nicest people, literally the nicest people. So for, the Trumpster fire to get up on stage, on the world stage and go, the Canadians are nasty. It's just like the most blatant, obvious lie. Protest idea numero tres. Number three, clowning around. Big fan of clowns. Clowns can be happy, clowns can be sad. I dare say we've got a clown in charge, so why not show up dressed as clowns? Coordinate with people you know, dress as a huge group of clowns, and then I think if you can try not to be funny, like be a sad clown, like drooping flowers. Anyway. All right, that's number three. Clowns. Number four, the unenthusiastic protest. I like this because there's so many Americans who just feel apathetic about everything. How does this affect me? Anyway, hopefully they wise up. But the unenthusiastic protest could include signs that say things like, meh. I guess that I care. I'm sort of mildly upset. You could always do unenthusiastic chants, What do we want? I don't know. When do we want it? Maybe sometime soon. Keep going. Number five. The bureaucratic nightmare protest. I think this was like kind of treads the line because Fed workers are under fire right now. And most Americans, I think, again, support Fed workers. Like, folks are providing critical stuff. Things like inspecting drinking water, making sure meat doesn't have diseases that can kill you, keeping fecal matter out of food. These are things we don't want to go away, and we need them to not die. I don't know how else to make that point. So, the bureaucratic nightmare, essentially what we do is we overwhelm the system, and we're going to use like its own red tape, right? So, we can basically fill out forms excessively, but slightly incorrectly. So, they basically have to keep processing them and then have to try and follow up, blah, 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 that kind of thing. You could also like gum up phone lines. Can we find, I don't know, the Doge hotline? I assume there's no freaking Doge hotline, right? They probably don't want to be called. But who's that joker, Big Balls or whatever? Let's find his phone number and let's just keep blowing that thing up. Just make it so that them having a phone is obnoxious and they just have to, I don't know, keep the phone off all day long or something like that. Again, maybe not the most insane thing, but like some of us don't want to stick our neck out and we want to do some kind of like low risk, annoying things. This could be good for you. So, bureaucratic nightmare. Other ways that you could do it, I would love to hear from folks. I don't know enough about federal agencies, but I imagine that, like, I don't know, overloading the DMV would be pretty frustrating for every single human that has to go to that DMV. And the DMV sucks already. Sorry, DMV workers, you don't deserve it. Number 6, the overly polite protest. I think there's going to be a lot of yelling in the coming days and weeks and months and maybe years. God, I hope it doesn't go that long. But you could flip that on its head. And instead, you could excessively thank people for the heinous evil that they're doing. So like, wow, thank you so much for this incredibly amazing policy. I can't wait for children to die from lack of cancer research. Yeah, that hits home. I don't even really like making that joke. Can you believe that that's the kind of shit that they cut? I don't understand how they have any excuse for this nonsense. Number 7, the Monty Python approach. Love me some Holy Grail. Probably one of the funniest movies of all time. So I was thinking, let's dress in medieval attire and keep challenging people to trial by combat. Now, instead of pulling out, I don't know, a broadsword or something like that, pickaxe, warhammer, while you're suited up in armor, challenge them to rock, paper, scissors. Kind of that DBZ, right? John Ken, whatever it is. I forget the Japanese phrase for it. Anyway, Monty Python them around. You could also bring coconuts and just make the horse noises. I think that could happen at any point in time. Just frolic around in the armor, making the coconut noises. It would just be super obnoxious and really hard to pay attention to anything but you. Number 8, the passive-aggressive protest. This kind of builds on the overly polite protest, but what we're going to do is leave polite but extremely passive-aggressive sticky notes anywhere you can. Doors, desks, public spaces, drinking fountains. If you live in an area where your senator or House of Representative is supporting / complicit in the Third Reich, blanket the doors with Post-it notes. Cover their whole car with Post-it notes. The windshield, just Post-it the shit out of them. It'd be amazing. And anyway, things could say, thanks so much for cutting benefits. We love working for fun. Your decision-making is truly something spectacular. Just wow. All right, let's keep cruising. Number 10, numero 10. Die in Italian? Una, due, yeah, I forget how to count in Italian. It's all right. So anyway, number 10, sarcastic endorsement. So this is kind of that like ridicule the radical thing I've talked about in a previous video where we would create like fake enthusiastic campaigns supporting the thing you're protesting. So make like an over-the-top ad promoting the nonsense that's going on. 50% less fairness and 100% more frustration. You could do fake employee of the month captions. Works 60 hours for 40 hours of pay. An inspiration to us all. Harkening back to our first item, we're going to talk about number 11, the golf clap protest. So instead of angry shouts, get everybody together, and then just politely slow clap. Yeah. Maybe bring folding chair, a little visor action. Binoculars. Pretend it's like a sporting event. Pretend you're actually going to a golf event. Number 12, flash mobs with a twist. So you can coordinate the group to basically break into an interpretive dance explaining your cause. I have no idea how anyone would understand interpretive dance as explaining the cause, but that could be part of the reason that it's a ridiculous protest, because you're just trying to figure out, why is this flash mob interpretively dancing in a strange way? Maybe they could pretend to be old people and then like being beaten. I don't know. You could also do flash mob that maybe just like naps in protest of like bad work-life balance. Okay, number 13. Protest by uncomfortable agreement. So when we're dealing with absurd leadership, we should just agree in the weirdest way possible. Kind of like how J.D. Vance talks all the time. So like, oh my gosh, yes, you're so right. We should just make things worse for everyone. I can't believe I didn't think of this 20 years ago. Fantastic. And then when they do really stupid shit, take fake notes and just be like, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Illegally deport people. You are a genius. Incredible. Number 14. I don't know what my hands are doing. 10, 4, 14. Number 14. Instead of yelling, play extremely ironic songs outside the buildings. So this would be kind of like the boombox protest. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Come on. Night at the Roxbury style. I will survive. Classic Gloria Gaynor. Take this job and shove it. We're not going to take it. If you're feeling, maybe a little Twisted Sister action, there are many great songs that can be used to nonviolently protest. And, we're coming up on the end of the list. All right. So number 15, reverse protest. This kind of reminds me of like coffee shops that put incredibly hilarious things on those like folding signs out front. In this case, like people could essentially like stand near a problematic business, Tesla, cough, and hold signs like, ask us about the terrible things they don't want you to know. Honest business. Good one. And things like that. And then maybe hand out popcorn to spectators because. And that's all I have for you on that idea. That brings me to the end of this list. Hopefully that was interesting or useful to maybe some of the folks out there that want to protest and step up to the plate. We're all angry. Don't forget it. They need us. The billionaires need us. Like, we basically built them their empire. And if we just opt out, the empire can collapse. So let's bring the power back. So let's talk about some resources, right? So 5051, if you haven't heard about this, the kind of overarching, one of the larger overarching protest groups, I'm not even sure how to phrase it, is 5051. There's a hashtag, #5051. So take a look at that. There's also a .chat for 5051. And I bring this up because places like Reddit, unfortunately, are under pressure from the administration and the tech oligarchs. So things are basically getting censored in real time on places like Reddit. And we already know that, Twitter is a cesspool of information being filtered out and the sort of hate being amplified and blasted. Even their own engineers have come out and said, this is incredibly evil what they're doing. Like, there was a whistleblower. All right. So 5051, take a look at that. The 5051 community has a bunch of resources. The kind of next big thing is April 5th. There's going to be a larger protest across the country. So if you can put that on your calendar, please do. The other thing I would advise is generalstrike.us. If you're in the States and you can participate in the general strike, please do. Again, I'm going to talk about what I said before. Like, at this point in time, it's up to us to really make some noise and make it clear that we're not going to just roll over and take it. We have to. The time is kind of running out. Get loud now, get out there, get in the streets, do everything you can. So again, those resources are 5051, generalstrike.us. These are just two of many. There are other groups out there like Indivisible. I just happen to be paying the most attention right now to 5051 because it's almost like monthly that they're doing protests across every state in every capital. Yeah, we the people. Don't let them take democracy from us. Thanks for watching.